All right, hello everyone. My name is Genaya, and today I'll be presenting on the Modernist Journals Project, or MJP for short, and you can find it at modjourn.org. So while a formal mission statement isn't explicitly labeled, the About section describes it as a research and teaching resource on the rise of modernism in the English-speaking world, with a central focus on periodical literature. The primary users are students and researchers of literature, modernism, and print culture, though it's also accessible to a broader audience. I actually first encountered the MJP back in 2020 when I was searching online for the NAACP's house magazine, The Crisis, which we'll take a look at here in a moment. The MJP is a joint project of Brown University and the University of Tulsa, funded by the National Endowment for the Humanities. It was founded by Bob Scholes in 1995. It's operated by staff at both Brown and the University of Tulsa, with contributions from a wide network of collaborators. Detailed current funding information isn't available, and the news section hasn't been updated since around 2018, which raises some questions about long-term sustainability. The MJP doesn't appear to interoperate with other digital libraries in a technical sense, but it does collaborate with partner institutions and libraries to obtain materials for digitization. So while not technically interoperability, it does take a collaborative approach to collection development. The collection consists of digitized English language magazines and journals from 1890 to 1922, along with supporting materials like essays, biographies, and introductions. One key thing of note about the MJP is that it focuses on full issues rather than individual isolated articles, so that helps preserve the original structure of the publications. If the collection were to expand, it would likely continue within the same scope, so materials published between 1890 and 1922. There is mention of a new round of digitized periodicals around 2019, but it's really unclear how actively content is still being added. In terms of who can add new items, only project staff can add items, though as I mentioned previously, external institutions do contribute source materials. The collection is organized hierarchically by publication title, then by volume and issue. Each issue includes detailed metadata. However, this link to view metadata just leads to a CAPTCHA loop that doesn't ever resolve. So instead, users must access metadata through XML records. The project uses mods for descriptive metadata and METs for structural metadata. These include elements like title, issue information, creator roles, and publication details. They do use controlled vocabularies, such as the Art and Architecture Thesaurus for genre terms and MARC standards for roles and geographic data. The METs records show how components like articles, ads, and images are structured within each issue, and you can kind of see that reflected here. So while the metadata is very rich and robust and well structured, it definitely prioritizes bibliographic and structural description over subject access, which does unfortunately kind of limit topical searching. The MJP is freely accessible on the web, and all materials are in the public domain, so users can view and download content without any restriction. All you would do is click the PDF button and then download. The MJP offers basic and advanced search options, but results point to entire issues rather than specific articles. Users can browse journals alphabetically and then view issues in multiple formats, including book view, thumbnails, and scroll view, which I am personally partial to. The site also includes teaching tools like projects, classroom materials, and sample syllabi. Something that I did notice is that a few of these links redirect back to the news or homepage, which unfortunately suggests that parts of the site may not be actively maintained. The files themselves appear to be hosted in the Brown Digital Repository, and according to the site's history, which you can see here, the project migrated to this repository in 2016, which allows for things like API access and computational analysis, and the site was redesigned in 2019 with those improved viewing features we just went over a moment ago. The interface itself is fully web-based and relies on standard browser technologies with interaction styles like menu navigation, form-based search, and thumbnail selection. Some details, technical details like security provisions, aren't explicitly provided. The MJP also includes a periodicals database and links to related institutions like Brown University, the University of Tulsa, and the National Endowment for the Humanities. Overall, I would say the MJP is a strong example of a digital library that preserves the structure and context of historical publications with rich metadata and useful teaching tools. At the same time, though, some broken features and outdated content do suggest ongoing maintenance and sustainability challenges. Thank you.